let's talk about styling tips that we can use to really improve and lift our outfits and make them feel so much better. Now, I wanted to specifically gear this towards summer because I know many of you who watch are based in the Northern Hemisphere, and summertime in particular, I think, is when many of us can feel like our outfits just feel a little bit dull, maybe they're a little bit boring, uninspired, and my aim is really to help you breathe new life back into your outfits. Today's video does include a paid partnership with Mejuri, but we'll get on to that in a minute. I want to start with my very first tip, which is to add a colourful or bright nail polish. Now, this is a very simple one, but it's also an easy way to dip into trends. For example, butter yellow is one of the colours of the season, and perhaps this isn't a colour that you want to add into your wardrobe. Perhaps it feels a little too high risk, so a much more approachable way to address this trend, if you want to dabble in it a little, would be to opt for a nail polish. Personally, I have gone with this really bright, vibrant red, which is kind of my go-to in the summertime because I think it really pops, especially when I've got a little bit of a tan. But there are so many different options, and this is a very easy way just to kind of elevate your style and also make it look like you've put in that additional bit of effort. But I will say though, make sure you are keeping on top of any little chips, as I find that that is when you can start to look a little bit scruffy. Now, my second tip is to incorporate a piece of statement jewelry. Now, if you think about our summer style, quite often it tends to be a lot more pared back, very kind of minimal and simple, and this can be a great way to jazz things up with very minimal effort. And I'm using some beautiful new in pieces from Mejuri to really illustrate this point, which you can use my link below to get 10% off your order. But I'd say probably my two favorite pieces have to be the Tibi hoop earrings, which I'm wearing here in the sterling silver. And I love these because you can really dial it up or dial it down depending on your preference level for that day, because it has a detachable charm. And I'm actually wearing them asymmetrically right now, which I think is a really fun way to play around with your jewelry as well and create visual interest around your face. My other favorite has to be the dome figure cuff, which has this lovely organic wave design, and I just think it's really unique and interesting to look at. Though if you prefer something more traditional, they have you covered there too, with some other more simple cuffs in both a thinner and a thicker width, which I absolutely adore. And I think it can be quite interesting to stack those sorts of cuffs together, especially when you're wearing something sleeveless. The other pieces that I picked out are the dome figure hoops in the silver, also the dome figure ring in silver, which just comes in gold vermilion, comes in a whole range of enamel colors as well. And then finally, I also selected the mosaic gemstone dome ring in the pink tourmaline, but this also comes in blue too. To me, that ring feels really whimsical and playful, whereas the other pieces are a little bit more minimal and sophisticated. As you can see, I'm having a real moment with silver. I just love the way that it pops against an all black outfit. It looks very crisp, clean, and sophisticated, but also pairs nicely with other neutrals or even other pops of color. I will leave links below to all of the new in pieces from Mejuri that I've shared with you, but remember, if you click on one of my links, you can get 10% off your order, and I'll make sure to share some of their other bolder styles that I think are really chic too. My next tip is to go for really heavily textured fabrics instead of flatter fabrics like a cotton poplin. The reason being that these just add so much natural visual interest to your outfit. So I've got a few examples here so you can see what I'm referring to, but we have this beautiful off-shoulder top from fabric. The little flowers which are scattered all over the top basically just jump out at you, and it looks really nice even when worn with something that is more of a smoother, flatter fabric, because it is the thing that is bringing the visual interest. Second is linen, and I know not everyone loves this because it does have a tendency to look a little bit crinkled, but when you're thinking about the way that light is hitting and reflecting on your clothing, to me, this is one of the reasons why linen is so visually interesting and so appealing from that standpoint, because again, it literally looks very textured because of the very nature of linen itself. And then the final example I have is a textured knit. This one here is from Auntie, and as you can see, the texture just really jumps out. And I also like the fact that the raised knit is in a slightly different color. It makes the dress feel a lot more special than if it were just a very plain, tightly woven knit dress. Then in the same vein, we have printed pieces. So swapping out something that is in a block color for a printed piece will instantly elevate your outfit and also make it look like you've just put in this extra effort despite the fact that you haven't at all. I've included a couple examples here. Two of them are gingham because that is one of my favorite summertime fabrics, and actually the dress that I've shared, this has really interesting drape design which kind of adds to that elevated feel and style and look of the dress. And then there's also this beautiful washed out watercolor print set. So again, imagine if all of these items were in a block color, how they would look and feel. They'd still be absolutely beautiful, but they'd be much less impactful because they don't have the visual distraction of the print attached to them. And I find that this is an area where you really just need one or two, so that on those days where you feel like nothing is really working out, you can throw on your printed piece and then your outfit will instantly feel like it's been improved. One of the reasons why dressing during the transitional seasons and winter is so much more compelling is because not only do we have that texture that naturally comes in, but we also have that coveted third piece as part of our outfit. And this really can be that element that makes or breaks your look. So your outfit could be feeling very simple and very basic, but as soon as you throw on the third piece, whether it's a blazer, a cardigan, a jacket, it instantly feels like you've lifted the look, like you've put in that extra element of effort. And this really comes back to that rule of three, or the golden ratio as it's known in architecture. And I think the tough thing is figuring out how to incorporate that third piece into our outfits when it is really hot and we don't really want to have a lot of fabric touching our skin. So there are a few different options that you can do. The first one being to throw an oversized cotton or linen shirt on as a jacket. I highly recommend rolling up the sleeves because in that way you've got a little bit more of your skin exposed, and it also helps to balance out the oversized nature of the shirt. But that is a really nice way to kind of incorporate it while still wearing those very nice, light, breathable summertime fabrics. The second way would be to wear a sleeveless blazer, and I have to say when I started doing this it felt like a real game changer for me, because especially when you are wearing a very typical summertime outfit, a t-shirt or a singlet with denim shorts, it can feel very casual, and maybe you want to elevate your outfit a little bit more. A sleeveless blazer to the rescue. The one I have here is from Ray and it's quite oversized, but even one that's a little bit more closer cut to the body will really work and have the same impact. So you've got that layered effect, but because it doesn't have sleeves, it feels very easy and very approachable. It doesn't feel like you're adding too much bulk to your outfit. If you live in a very hot climate, I recommend looking for styles that are either in linen or cotton just for the breathability factor, but because your arms are exposed and you're wearing it open on the body, generally I find that these are just a very cool, simple thing to throw on. Another switch could be a knitted vest that you're wearing open as well. The third way that you can kind of incorporate that third piece into your outfit is actually through your accessories. So one being through your bag, and in particular a crossbody bag, because the strap is going to lay across your body and that adds in that visual interest. It breaks up your outfit a little bit and it makes it feel like there is a little bit more going on when there really is. The other accessory or tool that I find to be really helpful in this case is a belt, and in particular I do tend to like a little bit more of a textured belt. I'm going to talk about texture very soon. And again, this really helps to define the waist and also break up the outfit a little bit more and takes focus away from the fact that it is otherwise a very simple look. Another way that you can elevate your summer style is to think about how you can play with proportions. And I've got two examples here and I'm going to show you side by side how they look. And both of them are monochromatic because I really wanted to focus on the actual silhouette itself to show you how that can be the game-changing element. Balance and proportions are basic principles in styling, and probably one of the most common styling rules that you will have heard is to wear something fitted on top and loose on bottom, or loose on top and fitted on bottom. But sometimes we just want a little bit more from our outfits. So in the first example, I'm wearing a fitted black tank with a super wide leg black trouser. And you can see I've got the balance going on there with the slim and then big, but it just felt like maybe I could do something different. I wanted to play around with the actual silhouette itself and add in a little bit more shape. So I swapped out the singlet for a peplum top, which creates a really interesting shape. For a start, it actually is kind of slim and fitted around the bust, and then it flares out quite dramatically, a little bit of an empire waist. And then because it isn't tucked in at the hem of the top, you can see that my silhouette kind of suddenly goes in because my trousers are more fitted around the waist and the hips. So I'm playing with proportion. I've still got those elements of slim and big in my outfit, but it's just a little bit more mixed up and feels a lot more styled than the original outfit. Then for the second example, I'm flipping those proportions. So we've got this really big oversized shirt, and then we have on these more fitted or slim denim shorts. And I wanted to show you how you can really play with the proportions of your shoes in this instance to create balance or just feel more grounded. And both of these are fine, but they just give you a different look. So in the first example, we've got the really slim shoe on the bottom, and this is mirroring the cut of the shorts. So again, there's nothing wrong with this. This looks great, and this is quite often the type and the style silhouette that I will reach for in the summertime. But another way that we can play around with this is to then mirror the style of the top with it being more oversized and opt for a chunkier shoe. And please ignore the colors here because I might have opted for a different color of shoe, but you can see here how I am creating a little bit of an hourglass in terms of the silhouette here, because I've got the boxier top, then I've got the slim fitting shorts, I think going in, and then I've got the chunky shoe, so it goes out again. And this creates that grounding visual balance from your shoulders to your feet. And I think this is where fashion can sometimes feel a little bit complicated, but I love that we can really play around with our sense of proportion just by changing up these few little elements in our outfit. Accessories can really breathe life into your outfit, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to hit that home with the statement styles from Mejuri, but I wanted to talk through some of the other accessories that we can use to elevate and lift and improve our summer style. Now, there are 3 things to consider when it comes to accessories: texture, shape, and color. And I'm going to share with you some examples from my own wardrobe, but personally I love this way that we can add texture to our outfits, because again, when we're thinking a lot about those primary fabrics that we're wearing in the summertime, cotton poplin is the one that really kind of comes to mind because it is so cool and breathable. Even viscose, if you're wearing that, is a very flat fabric. Bringing in the texture through our accessories is that great way to add in that visual dimension, that interest, and also that tactile quality to what we're wearing. I love a croc embossed leather, a pebbled leather, a woven leather I think is really, really beautiful. Straw bags are such a nice way to add in this kind of more rustic charm to your outfits, almost this handmade artisanal feeling. Also the sunglasses we choose, which can bring in that element of color in addition to having some fun prints. I personally am very partial to a tortoise shell print. If you want that little vibrant pop, a great way to do this is through your shoes, or even just opting for a colorful, playful bag. But often it's these finishing touches that we need to layer on to make our outfit feel more interesting. My next tip is to really focus on the details of the items that you are adding or bringing into your summer wardrobe. Little elements like embroidery, broderie trim, little ribbon trim. Those examples I gave, they're all a little bit more feminine, but some sort of tactile quality, even if it is just like a little bit of a trim around the collar that is in a slightly different color, all of these things bring in that sense of style and elevation to your outfit and can really take even just basic pieces away from feeling really boring. Sometimes these details are things that you need to see up close, but hopefully the visuals from the examples that I'm sharing on screen give you a bit of a sense of what it is that I'm referring to. It can even be the contrast between 2 different types of fabrication on a top. So I have this lovely little pleated top from Tibi, which has this fun flounce hem, and that in itself is a fun detail, but it's also the combination of the very flat fabric on the shoulder combined with the pleats. My final tip for elevating and improving your summer style is to wear a monochromatic outfit. I know this sounds very simple and basic, however, hear me out, because to me this is kind of the epitome of chic, timeless, effortless dressing. It involves very little thought, and it can be a great way to play around with a lot of those other techniques, those tools that I mentioned earlier. So incorporating elements of texture, utilizing your statement jewelry. Maybe you've got this beautiful cuff from Mejuri and you're going to add that to your outfit. But I think that this can be just such a great way to showcase your style. And I love that, of course, this doesn't have to be neutrals. You can really run the spectrum of color, which I think is very evident in the all blue look that I'm wearing here in the examples. And I also kind of wanted to show you how I would incorporate some of those other styling techniques that I mentioned earlier in the video into these outfits. So we have the sculptural shoe, we've got the third piece, which is that statement belt, and then we also have the really textured bag. And each one of these outfits, they're simple, but to me they feel interesting, very chic, and something that I am quite happy to wear on a very hot day. So that breaks down 9 ways that you can improve your style during the summer months, but of course you can use these tips year round. I feel like these are applicable regardless of the season. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. A huge thank you to Mejuri for partnering with me. Remember, you can get 10% off your order by shopping through my links in the description box below, as well as if you want to go and check out some of their lovely bold jewelry pieces. But thank you so much for spending some of your day with me. I'm always really grateful. I hope you found the styling advice helpful, useful, and I'd love to know if you're going to be putting any of these into practice this season. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon. Bye.